Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man giving you the truth, and I want to talk about 15 ways women abuse men in relationships. We keep hearing about these guys, this little false narrative as if the only people that do wrong in relationship is guys. And I can tell you firsthand, this is not true. I mean, the world deceives women into believing they're never wrong sometimes. But these videos and the many other videos on YouTube say otherwise. The Bible says otherwise. If women were perfect, then the scriptures wouldn't even speak or tell them what they are supposed to do in relationships. But the scriptures tell them, people tell them, it's a way on their end to make things work. So this one is 15 ways women abuse men in relationships. Now, I know the damsel in distress and these women attack guys, then they lose the fight and they act like they ain't did nothing. And a lot of other of the negative behaviors that women have that go unnoticed by the courts, they go unnoticed by the families and the friends. It's always the guy. It's always his fault. He's a deadbeat if she's secretly driving him nuts and he leaves. Oh, he left his family. Come on, man. You got to see both sides of stories. 15 ways women abuse men in relationships. And these 15 ways, I guarantee you, these things done happen enough times in some of these relationships through the years with people, all races, that sometimes make these guys say, you know what, I'm gone. Number one, trying to do their thinking for them. When they do this, it's like they're really trying to act like you're dumb. And if you not dumb, if you smart and you intuitive, it's going to really get on your nerve. It's going to really get on your nerve. Because they'll be acting like you're going to do something that they would do quicker than you would. And this is a form of abuse. Especially when people know what I'm saying. Number two, withholding sex from them while demanding faithfulness. How many women do this? How many women do this? They can decide, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. Oh, here you coming again. I mean, in terms of approaching, like, not the sexual word. They think that it's up to them when it happens, and if they choose to deny you for months, maybe even years, you can't do a thing about it. Some of them will try to stop you from watching porn. Some of them will try to stop you from doing anything while they commit this evil act of withholding sex. Listen, if you that sick, you probably should be in a hospital, not in a marriage. Not in a boyfriend-girlfriend. Oh, my head hurt. Oh, this, all that, all this, all that. And then, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? What is it? Why you ain't answering the phone? That's a form of abuse. It's a form of abuse. Number three, arguing with them on off days from work or after long days at work. Listen, that's abuse. Some things is just better unsaid. Like some of these things that turn into conflicts within a relationship, male-female relationship, can be avoided. It's like if somebody had a hard day at work, they're gonna just want to unwind. Maybe you should just bring them a plate and be quiet. Just be quiet. Oh, why ain't you listening to me? Be quiet. Number 4, having affairs, then crying. And when I say affairs, I'm talking emotional and physical. You do it, fess up to it, figure out if he's going to be a simp and stay with you, because he's definitely a simp if he stays with you. Like even emotional affairs. Like sometimes those are indicators that you probably should be by yourself or move around. Especially when you're doing a lot for a person. And especially if they do this and they don't apologize or they're not sincerely apologetic, people will give you signs, man. Number 5, crying when they lose arguments. You ever heard the slang saying, don't start none, won't be none? Well, when one way they abuse you is when you get in an argument with them, they start crying. Don't go for that. Don't go for that. I think I left one out. This is going to be 16. And I'm going to put it right here. Number 5, silent treatment. Silent treatment creates toxicity in your house. It creates toxicity. Like sometimes you really probably should take a break for a little while from talking to each other if the fight is that fierce, but silent treatment is a form of abuse. That's abuse. Especially if it's a guy that likes talking. That's abuse. Number 7, physical fighting. Listen, especially if you can't, look, my wife can't beat me up, man. My wife can't beat me up, man. She would be lucky to get a punch in or a scratch or anything. I'm not going to fight her. Me and her already got that understanding. You hit me, it's over. I'm gone. I'm done. And I'm going to make sure that I replace you as quick as possible. Right in your face. Because guys go to jail all the time for this. And it's not fair. It's not fair for women to be able to attack men and not go to jail. She can't beat me. I mean, so physical fighting is a form of abuse. Like when somebody can't beat you, especially, and they're trying to fight you, and it's a situation or set of circumstances where you can't show them. Like, let's say you're a correctional officer, which I have been for over 13 years. And these guys begin to challenge you. See, they always want to talk about the subjects being abused, whether it's juveniles or adults, or they always want to talk about them being abused. But they do a lot of abusing too. They attack, they assault the staff. Well, that anytime you can beat somebody and they are trying to fight you, and you, for whatever reason, cannot fight back the way your ability entails, or the way your ability is, if I'm saying this the right way, that's abuse. Seven, flirting around with other men in your face. Let's get off subject a little bit. If your wife doesn't like your friends, then she should limit her. She shouldn't be around your friends. She shouldn't be sitting by your friends. Her conversation should be limited with your friends. Because sometimes women will say they don't like your friends, and the whole time they think your friends are cute. That's deception. That's abuse. And flirting around with men in your face is abuse, especially if she's the type that will divorce you, leave you, break up with you if you did it. Those dictator type women that think that they should be the only one and you shouldn't say this or do this or have this conversation or that conversation, their behavior is supposed to be the same, and if it's not, it's abuse. Number 9, disrespecting you in front of your kids. Like, you gonna get into arguments, but when a woman goes all out and unleashes on you in front of your kids, that's abuse. Especially if you're not doing it to her. Like, you might be saying things too, but if you're not like flaming her, like going all in on her, and she trying to do it to you, that's a form of abuse. A lot of women, especially in the church, they can't see when they're abusing their husbands. Like, they be doing everything on this list, but the devil attacks women who believe in God more. I'm telling you. Number 10, threatening to leave. And I have in parentheses, guys that have strong relationships with their kids, when they begin to threaten to leave, and you know that they not going to let you get your kids, that's a form of abuse. That's a form of abuse. Like, come on now, man. What good dad wants a little sideshow dude around his kids? So that's a form of abuse, because it ain't like they're going to keep the new dude away from your kids. That's why that's a form of abuse. Number 11, threatening to divorce. Just the act alone is a form of abuse. If you don't do it, but you said it this year, 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 that's a form of abuse. It's like you bringing toxicity to your relationship. And even if you're not married, I'm gonna break up with you, and I'm gonna be through dealing with you, and you don't do it, that's a form of abuse. Number 12, demanding secrecy while behaving poorly. You know, people don't be wanting people to know exactly, and that's understandable. But it's even better, your wishes should be met when your behavior is good. If you had like one bad instance, 2 bad instances, guys shouldn't, you shouldn't say nothing. But if you got 1,000, now you faking funk. 2,000 bad instances. Things that you do and say that people will be like, I didn't even know you was like that as a woman. But then you say, we'll keep our business to ourselves. Kind of like Aisha Curry did. That's just bad behavior. For her to even say what she said, then try to follow it up with, oh, keep them out of our business. No. Number 13, not apologizing for the negative behavior. I watched my mother, and I don't want to keep talking about my mother, but it's a good example. And others do this for years and years and years and years. Like, sometimes I'll be like this as a kid. I'll be like, look, like if I know what happened and I know who was wrong and who was right. As a kid, I wanted to see people do the right thing and apologize. Because as a kid, I used to apologize to my friends. If I do something that wasn't right, I'll apologize. So I always thought did me being a kid, that adults would do the same thing, basically. Because adults is supposed to know more. Now, number 13, princess attitude in relationships. That's a form of abuse. I'm going to tell you what I mean by this. Especially guys that have read the scriptures on submission and how a woman's supposed to be quiet, how she's supposed to respect, but then she's behaving like she's a princess. I've talked in the past about when they say they're their prize and stuff like that. That's a form of abuse. It is. And it's like a woman's, based on the Bible says that a woman's approach to her relationship is supposed to be a humble approach. And it's supposed to be a quiet approach and a respectful approach. And that's why they gave the example of how Sarah called Abraham Lord. Because when you're doing it the right way, you like Sarah. When you're doing it the wrong way, you like Eve, Jezebel, and Lilith. And Delilah. You got Delilahs out there too. The whole time they got a motive. Delilah's like, after your money, after this, after that. Tupac, I just heard a clip how Tupac was talking about how he the same person, and Mike Jones said it in this song. How you the same person, and now when you get the fame, they basically want you. Like now you the godfather of YouTube when 5 years ago you wasn't getting no views on none of your videos. And those same people that look at Kevin Samuels as the godfather now, when he first started making videos, I guarantee you a lot of them were scrolling past his videos. That's just how people are. People are cliquey. That's why I love being by myself. Because people are cliquey. Like, they cliquey. Like, that's why I'm not like the class guy. It seems like every time you go to any type of class, it's like you have to literally tune them out and just focus on whatever the work, whatever the curriculum is. Because anytime you go to class, people going to start acting like kids. Number 14, physical adultery. The actual act of adultery is a form of abuse. For you to be married to one guy and go have sex with another guy while you're still married to that guy, especially when he finds out on his own that you didn't come tell him. And even if you come tell him and you know he hooked on you, both are like forms of abuse. Last but not least, well, it's definitely not last. On this list it is. Child support and alimony. That's forms of abuse. Come on, man. Come on, man. If we honest, this stuff, the system is just not fair towards men. Just be honest. We adults here, just be honest. The system is not fair towards men. It's not fair towards men. I know guys that didn't mess up their relationships, but yet they got hammered in child support court, alimony. Hammered. Tried to keep the relationship together, everything. She just didn't want him. When a woman doesn't want you, but she takes you to court for child support and alimony, she shows you right then and there, she don't want nothing to do with you, but she wants your money to stay with her. She don't want you to stay with her, but she wants your money to stay with her. See, and that's why you guys, till the system gets fair, you got to get more clever. Do not make these wayward women rich. You got to get more clever. That's the list. Got to get more clever. This video is for men and women. It's to help men and women. But y'all know that most of when I talk about these relationships is for men. married men in particular, men who are considering marriage, you got to understand these things. You got to understand when she's trying to abuse. Assert your authority without physicalities. Assert your authority. Any woman that you can't assert your authority, go get somebody else. Forget about this little government, little weird, goofy stuff. Stick to the Bible and what it says about relationships. This is the Truth Man channel. It's no matrix, no simping, all subjects channel. Let's get these subscriptions up to 1,000. Subscribe to the content. If you watch it, you want to hear more, subscribe. I'd like to thank all of my subscribers. And I'd like to thank those of you who are supporters through kind comments, even if you just come and tell me the truth about disagreeing with me. I appreciate all the comments. But don't comment if you don't watch like the majority of the video or the whole video. Again, the channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Thank you for watching. Keep tuning in for more videos.